Hello my friends, family, esteemed colleagues. This is going to be another discussion about the good and bad cholesterol and how the ridiculous science that we are being forced to acknowledge is misleading everybody. So I was asked to make a comment on the Nicholas Norwitz video where he lowers the LDL, so-called the bad cholesterol, by eating Oreo cookies, basically by putting carbohydrates, starches, into diet. And he investigates. He's a bright guy, but he is scientifically oriented. Okay, so he accepted everything we have been told as the truth, and now he's just fishing out the relationship, how things work. And he noticed that the fit people, especially carnivore eating, but in very good shape, very healthy, they would have very high LDL. And those less healthy and fat and obese would have lower LDL. And now he, through observation and statistics about what they eat, and using science as parameter, he's trying to see how is it possible and what healthy is, and involves here liver as storage of fat, and notices when liver has less fat in it, he right away says, well, it has less glycogen, which is not really exactly so. And even if it may be a little bit different, what does that really matter? What I'm trying to show, that the whole our science is based on a malfunctioning organism. What I want to say by this is that all the parameters, how much of hormones and what kind of hormones do we have, what is the correct level of a blood sugar, of hormonal activity, present hormones, including the cholesterol and triglycerides, and what are the correct parameters for a body. But then you take I would call it diseased body, glucoholic body, as something that these parameters are correct parameters. Well, they are correct parameters on incorrectly functioning body, because every animal is in ketogenic state. Every mammal is always in ketogenic state, except humans and domestic animals we feed, because we start feeding them starch. And as I show in multiple examples, what starch does to the body, it genetically screws it up. Because in general, cells are made to adapt. They do the adaptation according to the environment. Everything is frequency, so the frequency is being caught by telomeres. The vibration from a telomere is conveyed to the genetic pool, and the gene that would resonate with that frequency will then give the instructions to the cell how to behave in this energetic field, in this environment. So when we change environment of our body by introducing it to high level of glucose, well, we are reconfiguring the whole makeup of the body. So what did Nicholas notice? That fit people that are ketogenic, they actually produce high levels of LDL, what we are calling the bad cholesterol. But they are healthy. Okay? The unhealthy people have lower level of LDL. How does that work? Well, it works perfectly, but not according to science. We have to switch from science into science. We have to understand that nature is preventing us, any mammal, to get in touch with carbohydrate, with glucose. So how does it do it? By putting envelope of cellulose around it. And in nature you will never find any free glucose. It's always sheltered within cellulose. This is why when there is a nectar available or sweetness from a fruit, well, the sweetness is not coming from glucose, it is coming from fructose. Fructose has no impact on our genetics because our body does not resonate with it. The absorption for fructose is very low. And whatever is being absorbed and ends in the blood, since the body does not respond to this frequency, it is going to end up in the liver being transformed into fat. No big deal. Yes, we will produce some uric acid as a byproduct, but you are talking about small amount of fructose that can be absorbed. So it's negligible, and we always have some uric acid in the blood. We call it also antioxidant, which should be there. Now, things change. Everything changes when we start actually taking the cellulose off and gobbling up on starch, producing glucose. And again, I don't want to talk too much about it because it's going to be a long video, lost in. I want to zero on cholesterol. So you want to know about LDL, you want to know about glucose and what it does in the body, go check my articles. At the end of every of my videos, you have a shortcut to my website, and there you can, in a search window, just put glucose, put starches, whatever, and articles will pop out, or I made videos about glucose and what it does in the body. So we have to understand that in nature, animals don't heat up their food, which means they don't burst cellulose. So you eat banana, raw banana, it just goes through you. We say, oh, it's going to get you fat because it's like potato full of starch. Yeah, but the starch is within a cell, and cells has membrane of cellulose, plant cells. You eat plant, you get 0 calories because you cannot extract any of it. It's all within cellulose. Unless you heat it up, cook it, fry it. You burst the cellulose, but now you get the wrong source of energy for plant. So what is happening? Why do fit people in ketogenic state have high, they could be skyrocketing LDL, 400 and plus. And how come they're healthy? Well, because everything we are being told about cholesterol through science is reversed contrary to the truth. We are being told that LDL, now what is LDL, this bad low-density cholesterol? Well, this is the cholesterol that liver produces, liver and small intestine are producing them depending on cellular demand, what body requires. It sends demand, and then cells that produce this, what body needs, will produce it, put it in the blood. So if we have in the body high levels of LDL, it means that there was a demand for it. And this is the cholesterol that is being produced to do its function. Now, what is the function of cholesterol? We say, oh, it blocks arteries. Bollocks. It doesn't do that. How come that the other healthy people, fit, healthy people with high LDL? What is the purpose of LDL? Well, it serves as a base of many hormones in the body, but including vitamin D, which is hormone D. But why is this high LDL in people that eat meat and fat? Because the base for bile is LDL cholesterol. More bile you need to break and transmute fats. More bile you make, more LDL your body has to produce so you can produce bile. I mean, it's simple. So more fat you eat, more animal fat you eat, more protein, animal protein you are eating, more bile you have to produce, more LDL, more cholesterol you need for this. If we would take parameters of the healthy ketogenic human, which we should be always in ketogenic state, like every other animal, then we would not wonder why do we have high LDL, because we would understand right away, well, we need it to produce bile. But since we go from a premise LDL is bad, and some people, sickly people with coronary problems, and they may have LDL little elevated, so must be the LDL because it makes this obstructions. I've explained that obstructions happen only in areas where there is a damage in artery. And it is there to prevent bleeding to death, internal bleedings. So again, it's a positive thing in sick body. Doctors know this. I have no idea why they continue this baloney explanations about LDL being a bad cholesterol, because LDL is the cholesterol body is producing to serve it for what cholesterol is used for in the body, and HDL is leftover cholesterol or breakdown of when things are being repackaged, so that cholesterol goes back for reprocessing. But it's only one cholesterol that body produces. It's the LDL, low density cholesterol. There is no such a thing as good and bad cholesterol. You don't have the HDL without having the LDL. So we always have to look to find a reason why the body does something. And if what body does is bad for it. The body does not want to harm itself. But cholesterol, no matter what you eat, you are not going to absorb cholesterol. You can eat tons of pork fat. You are absorbing fatty acids, nothing else, and amino acids. Because if it is cholesterol, what is cholesterol? Cholesterol is the fat bonded to protein, lipoprotein. This is cholesterol. So if you eat it, if you eat meat, it has lipoprotein in it, because all the cells of our body or body of mammals or animals are have membranes made out of cholesterol. Plants have those membranes made out of cellulose. You look at a plant, you are looking basically at sugar in different forms. You are looking at animal, you are looking at protein and fat in different forms. We are incompatible. Okay? It's fruits and flies. Nothing together. One cannot serve the other. Absolutely can't. We are completely different things. And this is why when we start feeding ourselves with a food that is made for plants, well, now body doesn't do well. Body has to make adjustments to it. And it can adjust, but on what cost? You can see it. In nature, there is no disease, there is no chronic problem. Humans are riddled with them, everywhere, on every level. We show signs of aging. Why? Because our bodies are completely destroyed. They are functioning completely differently than they should, because of reprogramming, so they can adjust to the garbage we are feeding ourselves with. We have to understand that triglycerides are the energy for us, and we store it in a adipose tissue, and actually even around the muscles that you use, so it's faster delivery. And we are always supposed to be in ketogenic state, and this way our cells will always have enough energy supply, no matter if we are running, if we are sitting, if we are sleeping. Our cells always have energy. This way brain stays powered 24/7. Body can recover during sleep because cells have energy. So you can have deep sleep and body is fully energized because you have stores of fat. You don't have any store of glucose. So when you sleep, when you are not eating, and body has to rebuild, cleanse, reshuffle, it cannot do it because there's no energy, so it wakes you up. You gotta eat something because I need energy. It's working kakai. Keep it in mind. The only cholesterol you have in the body is what your body produces. And if you do not supply the body with fatty acids, your body will produce them. Because it can. It can. We need certain level of sugar in the blood because we need carboxyl group. Carboxyl group is structured within protein. So if we want to produce amino acid and proteins, we need carboxyl group. It comes from the sugar we have in the blood. But there is a low level, controlled, and that sugar is produced by the liver from fat that we have. It can be also produced from the protein. So as the wheel can go forward, it can go backwards. So if you don't receive fatty acids through your food, and there is a need for cholesterol, the mitochondria wheel of Krebs cycle will go backwards. And the cell is going to take a fat and convert it into sugar. Or it can take a sugar, if you start supplying it, and turn it into fat, and then creates cholesterol. So you can have as much cholesterol eating carbohydrates as you can have eating animal products, meat and fat. The only thing is that when you are eating carbohydrates, you don't need bile. Very small amount of it, because you are going to bring a little bit of oil in a body that will need bile, but small amounts. So LDL, not necessary. And this is why Nicholas takes, first goes on keto diet, cholesterol shoots over 400, and then takes Oreo cookie, cholesterol goes down, because it does not need bile to eat junk food. Did you ever hear this from somebody else? No, because nobody thinks. We are just trusting the stupid science that comes from professors that know jack shit. They just repeat what they are being told. So, Google, we all have it. Start using it. Don't be afraid of cholesterol. Do not pay attention to cholesterol. Your body knows what it's doing. Eat correctly, and you will be healthy. And yes, your LDL will be high. Good for you. That means you are eating correctly. And your body is correctly adjusted genetically through the genome to be in ketogenic state. It has to be in ketogenic state to be healthy. Your whole world will change. Unfortunately, we are also very toxic because of the garbage we have been eating, because of all these things that have been pushed in our bodies. All these misconceptions being served to us by these scientific, educated experts of nothing. Just parrots regurgitating what they have been told without having brain cells working to see that we are being told nonsense. And everybody is spewing lies, not being able to connect two and two together. Well, this is why we are here, and only those with open minds are going to watch my videos or read my articles, because this is not for scientific experts. They simply have no brain cells functioning. They just know, hear it, repeat it, see it, repeat it. They are just repeaters. So keep thinking, observe, think. Thank you for being here, and until another video, see you. God bless you. Namaste.